Fire, ask you to lead us in the word of prayer.
Okay. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come in this hour asking for your divine guidance in all decisions that are made tonight. We ask that the decisions tonight be made for the betterment of all mankind. These and all blessings we ask in your name, Jesus Christ, forevermore. Amen.
Amen.
Flag
of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation
under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
That's the pretty good. Motion to approve the budget. Anybody?
Make motion approved.
Got a motion to approve the budget. I have a second. I want a second for the budget.
I mean, approve
Approve the agenda, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got approved.
the agenda.
Okay.
Clerk, you get that?
I'm with you.
Thank you.
Approve the agenda.
That's all right. You know, I have to watch. I have to watch. I'll make a mistake. I don't want to make one. But, all right. Says the chairman is supposed to announce the following.
Do you want me to do that, Mr. Westbrook?
You can go right ahead.
As you've indicated, Mr. Westbrook, this is our final public hearing on the ad valorem taxes and the budget. And I'm going to read the statement as it is required. To fund the proposed budget requires 7.9450 mills, which is 1.88% more than the current year rollback rate of 7.7982. The purpose is to maintain current services under the jurisdiction of the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners and other county constitutional officers. And Mr. Chairman, I would ask that we go into a public hearing at this time to hear from the public.
We will go into a public hearing right now. Any public might want to speak? You want to speak, Mr. Taylor? Okay.
Is your question?
Sir,
I didn't hear the question.
just to speak about the budget.
Like questions?
Okay, Ms. Shawn, you want to speak? You go ahead, come to the front, please, ma'am.
Karen Schoen from Greenwood. Thank you all. Can you hear?
Baskin.
Hmm?
You live in Baskin.
No, Greenwood. My address is Greenwood. Oh, okay. According to the chairman, I live in Bascom. Okay. I have a suggestion that may not be for this year, but certainly will be for next year and the years to follow. As I was going through the budget, I noticed that there is no summary sheet. There is no place where it says, this is the total for 24-25, this is the total for 25-26, and this would be the total for 26-27. So there's no way really to compare unless you have the tools available from your computer and can do that. So I would like to suggest that next year's budget contain a summary of totals. So we see total expenditures, we see total receivables, we see all of the things that go into a budget that makes it easier for a person to analyze and look at the budget and say, gee, what a wonderful job you're doing. Isn't that terrific? Rather than being frustrated at having to go through every line item. And my other suggestion is, I believe that there should be a place that each item, well, not necessarily each, but certainly the ones that are most important, like insurance and utilities and automobile expenditures and salaries, and they should be on a summary page also, so that we have an idea of where our money is going and why it is important for you to make the decisions that you're making. So I would like to make those two requests for next year's budget. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, we thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
I just have a couple of questions. Number one, who put the package together, the budget? Who did it?
That would be staff who put that budget together.
Okay,
Department heads.
okay. Well, I went through a lot of it and it's like, it's Where's Waldo? You don't know where anything is. But just for example, not because I don't want to talk about insurance, but it's there and you had a 23-24 budget proposed. You had an actual shown on there. And then there's a delta between the new one and the other one where there's still money left over. Where's that go?
Well,
And how do you account? I mean, how is that accounted for?
Mr. Danza.
I'll let Mr. Rooks jump in if he wants to, and I'm not sure I understand your question, but I'll make a run at it.
Okay, I'll just do a quick, just so, let's say it's $500,000. Okay, and I actually spent 450,000 for the year, but that was, I still got money left over. Where does that go? And the newer budget's higher than the previous budget. Requested.
It is carryover monies that we talked about at the end of the budget. So in other words, at the end of the year, hopefully, we will have monies left over. In your
Right.
example, then that money is considered fund balance. And it's monies that could be used in 25, 26 monies. So when we were calculating the carryover amount, because we were short, we budgeted, and Mr. Dean, you may have to help me here, $2 million in carryover monies.
About 1.2, 1.3 million.
Yeah.
And Lindsay, is that about correct?
Yes, sir.
So that money is carried over till the next year. If we don't lose it, it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I guess, I know, it's not like a private business. If you don't use it, you lose it, because that isn't an option here. But the money, does it go back to that particular department? To what's carryover?
That would be, without getting too far in accounting and y'all start booing me, it depends on what fund it's in. If it's in general operating fund, then that money can be used for any of the departments. If it's transportation trust monies, then it can only be used for transportation trust. Fine and forfeiture monies can only be used in fine and forfeiture. I hope that kind of answers your question. So
Yeah.
yes, it could go back to that department, but in the general fund, and that's mostly what we're talking about here, not specific like fine and forfeitures, the sheriff jail budget. In the general operating fund, then that money's if fire and rescue comes in under budget, then that money may be used for another department. It just depends on how it's budgeted.
Okay, that's.
It's not that much anyway.
I don't think it is. It's not gonna work.
Yes, ma'am, go right ahead. But come to the front. Us old men can't hear very good, so you'll come to the front, we'll be better off.
I just wondered, what is the bottom line budget?
I didn't understand your question.
What is the bottom line grand total of the budget? The proposed budget.
$126,617,193.
And what was it last year?
Look back, but we have, those numbers are included in the information that we see. I think it is more than what was raised last year, but
Okay, well, if
if
you could send that to me, I'd appreciate it.
So it was 122 million, wasn't it, or 119? But that includes a lot of grants that are coming, those dollars include grants that are coming in to the county from many different sources. It's not all locally generated dollars. And you understand that?
Okay, what are the expenditures?
You have to go through the budget. I mean,
Some of those.
That's why I'm looking for a summary sheet.
I think there,
I mean, if I had to,
there is I don't know if you call it a summary sheet, but those numbers are summarized. In
By
the information that we
But
have.
they're summarized by department and we're looking for the whole picture. In other words, what did we spend on insurance last year? What are we spending this year? What is the proposed going to be? For and not just insurance, utilities. It's
That's
difficult.
all in the information that we have.
I know, I'm looking for it on one page.
I don't know if you can summarize everything on one page. It's
If I could
two.
interject here, for the detail, and I don't know where my notebook went, but notebooks like this, we can get you, it's a summary. This is not detail, this is totals. We can get you a copy or something like this, and it'll have each department, each fund, and it'll have the detail that you're looking for. But to post that out on the web is just too big. It probably would crash down our website. But if you want the detail, we have the detail.
Okay,
Am I not correct, Lindsay, when I say that?
Yes, that's correct. And also, if you'd like to look in the newspaper, it also has these numbers listed in our budget summary.
Oh, yep.
I can tell you that our last year's budget was $142,347,515.
Okay, and this year is,
126.
26
so that's
million,
good. So therefore, we want to see that.
Well, and I don't want to be a dark cloud here. That includes grants. So like some of that's that FEMA money, the hurricane money that was playing out. So-
As an example, we have over $40 million in grants in the budget this year.
Okay,
And that could be 20 or 30 or 50 different grants.
okay.
And so that's how.
So that's all, but it's all still part of the same,
Just like Mr.
it's
Reed.
all still part of the same thing.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the only thing. We wanted to be able to say, what a great job you're doing, or maybe we can help fix this, or maybe but if it's difficult if you have to go through every line item by department to do that, when there are programs that would say utilities, and then might have all the departments listed, but on that page, it is only devoted to utilities, or only devoted to insurance, or only, instead of having to go to each department and seeing that each department has utilities insurance, and then having to
You may be
figure
able
that
to run a report like that. I'm trying to think, it would be a special report that would have all the utilities across all the funds.
right, that's what I'm talking
And if
about.
you want something like that, you probably can talk to us, and I don't want to promise. I mean, it sounds simple. But to get the software to do that, it may not be, because you're running across 4 or
Right.
5 different fund types, special revenue funds, debt service, all the different fund types, and then all the departments within that fund. I'm not saying we can't do it,
Oh, I'm sure you can.
but we
I
don't
trust you.
produce a report like that, but we.
No, I have faith in you. I'm sure you can figure
Well,
it
if
out.
you
And I'll
request it, we'll try
happy
to.
to- I'll request. it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, and I would remind you as well, everybody over there in that courthouse, we're funding their salary and stuff too. With the exception of maybe a nickel or dime here or there. So that's the thing that most people don't look at in this budget. We funding things we've never seen or heard of before, but we fund them. Mr. Dean,
I guess if there's no additional comments, we can.
anyone got anything else to say? Just about all our employees, especially ones sitting on the right side. How about anybody else on the left side? We've gotten all y'all but about 2. All right, yes, sir.
Actually, they can be online, but let's just speak on the telephone.
Okay, if you want. Commissioner Donna Pro request, is anybody online that wants to speak? Have now or forever hold your peace. Okay.
Just a heads up, I don't see anyone online tonight.
Okay,
If there's no other comments, we can close the public hearing and take action on the millage rate and the budget.
all right. Want to wind it up? All right, wound up, let's start again.
And we
based on all the discussions that we've had concerning both the budget and the millage rate, I'll offer a motion that we adopt a final millage rate of 7.945 for operating purposes of Jackson County for the fiscal year 2025-2026 by resolution. Chairman.
No, sir.
Got a motion and a second. Clerk, I'm sure you got both those gentlemen. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, the same sign. Unanimous consent.
For clarification, that is the same millage rate that we operated under last year.
Now, I would like to reiterate that again myself, but thank you. We've scratched and moved and scraped and seemed like we're set to go again. Hopefully, if somebody will come along and leave us a lot of money, and any of y'all that got anybody like that, we'll take it. We'll be glad to have it. You know, just will it to it.
Okay, we're ready for the budget.
We ought to have,
Adopt the budget. We adopt the millage rate, now adopt the budget.
okay. All in
I
favor?
make a
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we adopt the final county budget in the amount of $126,617,193 for the Jackson County fiscal year 25-26 by resolution.
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the budget as proposed in the public. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, unanimous consent. Got done, eh?
Yeah, can I, ask for a consensus on something, Mr. Westbrook?
Yes, sir, go right ahead.
Our attorney has prepared, let me back up, the commission agreed to transfer or sell the old chapel behind the convention center, to Chrome, which is the rehabilitation service that's run out of the old middle school property. We agreed to that a couple of months ago, and, our attorney has prepared a, agreement for sale and purchase of the real property. We reviewed it, and we've also sent it to the folks over at Chrome to review. They have come back with a couple of requests, and before I send it back to the attorney, I wanted to see if the commission would be okay with this. The first thing is that in the agreement, it doesn't address, like, this property will be transferred to an organization that represents Chrome but is not Chrome. And so they want to make sure that should the organization that's taken title to the property decide to transfer the property to Chrome, that they could do that without triggering the right of first refusal, and also that it could be transferred to Chrome at no cost. So it's the organization that's representing Chrome right now, but it's not Chrome. And they want to make sure that they have the ability to transfer that property at no cost to Chrome should they decide to do that. That's one.
And we have the right of first refusal should this organization or Chrome decide to sell that property to anybody else.
Yeah.
It's just if this organization decides to transfer it to Chrome, then we don't have the right of first refusal, which we would not really
As
want.
long as it's being used for the same purpose. The part two of that is that should the right of first refusal be triggered, that the county would repurchase the property if it wants to, for the same price, plus any additional improvements that they've made. Because as it sits today, there is no sewer, there is no water, there is no electricity, and there are no bathrooms in the facility. So if they make those improvements, they have invested in that property, and they would like to be reimbursed, not necessarily for any appreciation, but for the cost of making the building better.
So we're agreeing to accept those additional costs, what those actual costs were. In other words, if they spend $20,000 on putting bathrooms in there, they're gonna give us evidence that they've spent that $20,000. And we would pay them for that $20,000, 20 years from now or 30 years from now.
whatever that improvement was, and that may be something else to consider, maybe a depreciated value of those improvements.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if it's this done through,
Sir?
if he's through.
Oh,
Yes, I.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm curious as to why it wasn't presented to us in that fashion from the beginning.
Why it wasn't, Mr. Spires? I don't think that they didn't have, this agreement until just recently. As far as, what they're asking for now,
No, I thought initially Chrome asked for us to sell the building to them, is that right?
yes, sir.
All right, now I'm hearing you say, if I'm hearing you correctly, now it's another agency that's going to ask to purchase it for Chrome, potentially.
Yes, sir. But
And I'm asking, why wasn't it presented in that fashion from the beginning?
we didn't know until we asked them whose name they wanted it to appear on the contract.
Yeah, and I know you would have known, I'm just wondering why they didn't present it in that way from the beginning.
They may not have known, there's probably a number of entities they do business with or that helps fund their organization that, is willing to help them out. And I'm speculating, Mr. Spires.
I understand. I'm just curious as to why it
Yes,
was
sir.
presented that way. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead. Mr.
In
Brown.
the first part of that, can we put in there that they either have to sell it to Chrome? They can't offer it to somebody else.
So be specific in the language.
Be specific that they have to sell it to Chrome or us.
What about for it to continue as this, as its original intent? Whether it's Chrome or the First Baptist Church or the Methodist Church, as long as it's being used for, what is,
Base.
Faith-based, yeah.
But there again, we still have the right of first refusal
should it be sold? Yes, sir.
Unless they want to sell it to Chrome.
unless they want to sell it to Chrome.
Chrome can say, we'd like to buy it, because I'm sure they're getting it financed from some other.
As long as they're transferring it to another entity that is using it for the same purposes as it was intended to, then they could transfer it at no cost.
I would like for it to be transferred to Chrome.
Okay, I want to know what y'all want me to tell them. But what if it was to, like we said, First Baptist Church or First Methodist?
But what if it's somebody in Miami?
That's exactly right.
I can't see where there's anybody else would want that, but now I might not be seeing from here to Greenwood instead of seeing as far as I need to look, but my point is that as long as we got right first refusal, as Commissioner Donovan mentioned, I can't.
Should it be
see
sold?
what's wrong.
No,
Go ahead, Dr. Spire.
My position on it, okay? When I voted the affirmative initially, it was to sell the building to Chrome. Now there's another entity involved, and I think that should have been presented to this board from the very beginning. Until such presentation is made, as far as I'm concerned, I would not be in favor of it.
And Mr. Spires, I believe that this is the way that they did the cottages that were sold to them. They went to another entity, which is purchased it on behalf of Chrome is the way I understand it.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if that had been presented to this board in the beginning, I would feel a lot more comfortable voting for it, but that wasn't what the request was.
I can get someone from Chrome at a regular meeting and we can go through that if that's the
That's
desire.
my position. I don't know if the other guy's position.
Well, I'm sorry, you want to speak?
I was gonna say, I don't have an issue with the selling it to another organization, because I think it's just an organization that does business on behalf of Chrome, basically, which is the same way that it was with the cottages that were sold, as you just pointed out. I just want to make sure that if this organization, intends to sell it to anybody but Chrome, or after it's sold to Chrome intends to sell it to anybody else, that we have the right of first refusal and at a reasonable cost. And it sounds like what you're proposing for Texas and that in both of those cases.
Well, we got a building that has no plumbing, no electrical, no whatever, and pretty quick. I would say somebody did a yeoman's job to get them in a position where they would like to buy it and do the work. But that having said, I can understand the other thoughts that all the board members have. So, anyway, Mr.
Oh,
Crutchfield.
my feelings on it, as long as it goes to somebody like, and we already deal with within the county and all like that, I don't have a problem with it at all. I just would have a problem with them selling it to the First Baptist Church. Or, I'm not anything, you know, the religion part, but I think after that, since that Crohn's is right there next door, they could utilize that more than we could. And I have a problem with it, but if they gonna get it to somebody else, as long as we got first chance to take it or deny it, then, you know, I think it's okay. I'm okay with that.
So, Mr. Chairman, if they are going to transfer the property to Chrome, it's okay to do that at $0. But if they're going to sell it or transfer it to anyone else, then initiates the right of first refusal.
All right.
And my only other concern with this whole issue is the fact that, you know, we've got Chrome who has cottages on one part of the campus, and now we potentially are selling this facility to them. We've got Next Step Autism Academy right in the middle of it. And I think I've voiced this concern before, and I'm sure there's a way of handling this, but I just want to make sure that there's segregation, a plan for segregation to make sure as those women that are walking back and forth, and I'm assuming that are going to be walking back and forth between the cottages and this facility, that there is a way of making sure that, you know, there's some segregation, that they're not walking right through Next Step and not intermingling with the Autism Academy students. I think that there's a way of putting a plan in place, but I think it needs to be put in place.
And, you know, we had met with, Mr. Spires and Mr. Westbrook had met with Mr. Botner, who is the executive director for the ministry that also has Chrome and other facilities. And they had indicated that for the male facility, you have one counselor or one staff member per 15 clients. For the female facility, Mr. Botner indicated that there would be one staff member per 5 clients. So there is a higher level of supervisory.
Well, and it may be just as simple as if they're traversing from one part of the campus to the other part of the campus, making sure that there's a preferred route for them to get that way, and they're not just wandering all over the campus. You know, again, I'm not indicating that I think anything, you know, that any of the clients out there would do anything wrong, but I just want to make sure that we are affording those autistic children, you know, maximum protection.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dr.
I'd like to add too, and I'm not an attorney, but I'm not so sure there's a clear line of demarcation between our responsibility to the Next Step program, as well as this part of this body's, Jackson County's responsibility. There's not clear separation. Therefore, I think we still have some liability associated with anything that could go wrong with the Next Step program. I don't think we could find another program in the state where the Board of County Commissioners are running a treatment program.
Mr. Crutchfield.
Well, I can understand what Mr. Spire's point in a way, but we're dealing with the fact right now, what to do, not should have been. It's what we're dealing with now, what we got to deal with.
And of course, if the board consents that this is the direction you would like for me to have a discussion with our attorney so that she could finalize an agreement that we would share with them, and then we'd have to bring it back to the board for final approval.
Well, one thing, we already into it with a lot of that stuff anyway out there. I mean, it ain't like we just starting out. We've been here for a while. And so, we haven't said that. I mean, I don't see how you can go wrong with doing what you're doing. Anyway, go ahead.
I had the same concerns, when we first started talking about selling those cottages.
I did too.
Commissioner Donifred had. I met with, I think, Mr. Botner, 3 or 4 of them, and they assured me, it's like Mr. Dean said, that they have close enough supervision over everybody in that campus that that wouldn't happen. We talked at length about it, and they made me feel better about the way they were going to do it. However, I think they need to have some type of plan to assure us and the public and most definitely the next step people that there won't be any meeting there. It may be something down the line where they could use some of their help over there, next step of things. You know, I could see that, but as long as they got supervision, and they assured me they would.
And their track record at the facility at the old middle school is thus far, I would say, very good.
What I've seen of it, I agree with you.
I've not heard any negative impact that they've had.
So would the board be receptive to me working with the county attorney to modify the language of the contract, which would allow a transfer to Chrome at 0 cost? And should the property be sold or in the right of first refusal be triggered, then what the county would pay would be what we sold it to them for, plus any documented improvements.
I'll offer that in the way of a motion.
I have a motion.
As long as it's the people that's buying it now or from.
And you want to amend it to that? All right, put that on
I
them.
think that was included in your,
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
included in his.
Just so we got it what we want. All right.
I'll say.
All in favor of the motion made by Mr. Donfro and talked to about by Mr. Branch, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. 4-1, it passes 4-1. Move
I have
on.
nothing else, Mr. Ware.
Okay, so I have 1 or 2 words to say. It won't take me just a minute. The last meeting we had, there was a little bit of discord, and I would offer from the chair, along with not asking my colleague, but I would offer from the chair that if I was a bit out of alignment, then my apologies made in the public. I don't think we were. I think that it was more of a group of us that was dealing with it, but at the same time, I'll offer an apology from the chair's position. Thank you. Anybody got anything to say? I wasn't out of line, but I want to make sure I covered that. Anybody else got anything to say? Anybody in that big group of people out there that's just running up there to that podium wants to say anything? Come right ahead. Yes. You want to yield your time back? That's fine. Well, in that case, I move we write